The maintenance bay hummed with the usual symphony of a multi-species space station, clicks, chirps, and the occasional burst of translated chatter through universal comm units. Sergeant Marcus Chen sat alone in the corner, methodically running an oiled cloth along the edge of his combat knife. The rhythmic motion was meditative, a ritual he'd performed 1,000 times before. He didn't notice the Valtorian approaching until the insectoid alien's shadow fell across his work table. "Human Chen," Zixthar said, his mandibles clicking in the approximation of curiosity. "What purpose does this archaic implement serve? Surely your energy weapons are superior for combat applications." Marcus glanced up at the 8-foot-tall warrior, one of the most decorated soldiers in the Galactic Defense Coalition. The Valtorians were renowned across 100 systems for their prowess in battle. Quick, efficient, and utterly ruthless when necessary. "Old habits," Marcus replied with a slight smile, returning his attention to the blade. "Plus, knives don't run out of charge." Zixthar's compound eyes refracted the station's lights as he leaned closer, his interest apparently piqued. Then he froze. His antennae stiffened and a low whistle escaped his breathing spiracles, a sound Marcus had learned indicated genuine shock. "Those markings," Zixthar said, his translator struggling to convey the sudden tension in his voice. "May I examine them more closely?" Marcus hesitated, then carefully rotated the knife so the alien could see the blade properly. Engraved along the steel were several small emblems worn smooth by time and handling. An eagle, globe, and anchor. A trident crossed with a pistol and anchor. A winged sword. A star beneath crossed arrows. Military insignias, Marcus explained, from different branches of Earth's armed forces. "This knife belonged to my great-grandfather. The emblems represent different units that members of my family served in over the generations." Zixthar's entire body seemed to shift backward. Your family line has produced warriors for multiple generations?" "Well, yeah," Marcus shrugged. "My great-grandfather was a Marine, that's this one here. His brother was Navy Special Warfare. My grandfather served in Army Special Forces. My mother was Air Force Pararescue, and I ended up in the Coalition after doing a stint in the Marines myself." The Valtorian's mandibles worked silently for several moments. When he finally spoke, his voice carried a weight Marcus had never heard before. "Human Chen, do you understand what you have just described?" Marcus blinked. "My family service record?" "No." Zixthar's antennae quivered. "You have described something that, among every other species in the Coalition, would be considered a genealogy of tragedy." The sergeant's hand stilled on the knife. "What do you mean?" Zixthar settled his armored body onto a bench designed for species his size. "Among my people, warriors are selected through rigorous testing at the age of maturity. Only 1 in every 5,000 Valtorians possesses the necessary neural architecture for combat. It is a rare gift or curse depending on one's perspective. Those of us who serve do so knowing our offspring will almost certainly never follow this path. It's the same across the Coalition," he continued. "The Krix choose warriors through genetic lottery. The Havrani identify combat-capable individuals through psionic screening. The Telmari conscript only those with specific pheromone profiles." He gestured at the knife with one of his forearms. "But your emblems suggest something different. They suggest that every generation of your bloodline has produced warriors, multiple warriors." Marcus had never thought about it that way. "I mean, not every member of my family served. My aunt was a doctor. My cousin's an engineer. But they could have served if they chose to," Zixthar said. "Yes? Well, yeah. Anyone can volunteer if they meet the basic requirements." The alien's whistling sound came again, longer this time. "Remarkable and terrifying." He fixed his compound gaze on Marcus. "Tell me, human, on your world before you joined the Coalition, how many military organizations did Earth maintain?" Marcus thought about it. "Oh, well, pretty much every nation had armed forces, some bigger than others, so maybe 200? Plus paramilitary groups, private security companies, irregular forces. 200. Zixthar's antennae were fully extended now. "And how many humans serve in your Coalition contingent alone?" "From Earth? About 40,000 last I heard, out of a population of 12 billion, give or take." Zixthar stood abruptly, pacing in the way his species did when agitated. "The entire Valtorian hegemony, across 17 worlds and 30 billion citizens, contributes 8,000 warriors to the Coalition. We are considered one of the most militaristic species in known space. He turned back to Marcus. And you're telling me that Earth, a single world, contributes 5 times that number while simultaneously maintaining 200 independent military forces? Marcus shifted uncomfortably. When you put it like that, it sounds kind of intense. Intense. The word came out flat through the translator. Human Chen, your species has been part of the coalition for only 30 standard years. In that time, human soldiers have earned more combat decorations than any other species. Humans have the highest survival rate in extreme combat situations. Human units are requested by name for the most dangerous missions. He gestured at the knife again. And now I discover that this is not an anomaly of your generation, but a continuation of a martial tradition that extends back through centuries. We've had a lot of practice, Marcus admitted quietly. Earth's history is complicated. I have accessed your historical databases, Zixthar said. I know of your wars, the great conflicts and the small ones, the revolutions and the suppressions, the millions upon millions of deaths. His tone wasn't accusatory, just stating facts. What I did not understand until this moment is that humanity never stopped fighting long enough to lose the knowledge of how to fight. Every generation passed the blade to the next. Marcus looked down at the knife in his hands, seeing it differently now. The emblems weren't just family pride or tradition. They were a legacy of unbroken conflict, a chain of warfare extending back further than he'd ever really considered. Is that why you think humans are so good at this? He asked. Because we've never known real peace? Zixthar's mandibles clicked in a pattern Marcus recognized as contemplation. Perhaps. But I think it is more than that. You choose it. Generation after generation, even when you are not selected or compelled or genetically destined, you choose to be warriors. That suggests something deeper than mere skill or experience. What does it suggest? The alien was quiet for a long moment. That perhaps humanity understands something the rest of us have forgotten or never learned. That the capacity for war exists in all of you, waiting, not as a curse or a rare gift, but as a fundamental part of your nature. And rather than fear it or suppress it, you honor it. You engrave it on blades and pass it down through the generations. Marcus resumed cleaning his knife, considering the words. In the distance, an alarm chimed, another drill, another preparation for a conflict that might come tomorrow or might never come at all. Maybe that's why we're good at making peace too, Marcus said finally. You can't really appreciate peace unless you understand war. Really understand it. Zixthar's antennae dipped in what might have been agreement or acknowledgement. He turned to leave, then paused. That knife, Human Chen, keep it close. Something tells me that before this current conflict ends, the galaxy will be grateful that humanity never forgot how to use such things. As the Valtorian walked away, Marcus held the blade up to the light, watching the emblems catch and reflect the glow. His great-grandfather's hands had held this same knife, and someday, if fortune allowed, perhaps his own children or grandchildren would hold it too. The blade gleamed, patient and eternal, waiting for the next hand to wield it.